Yeah, welcome back, guys, to another YouTube video. Today we're working on a responsive restaurant website. So this is a really nice restaurant website. You can see it right here. It looks really nice, and we have uh, two versions. We can have a dark mode or a light mode, and that's how we turn them on with this icon right here. You can go to the contact me page and you can see how the transition and how the content appears. It comes out in a really smooth and dynamic way. So that's what we'll be working on in this tutorial. It's really nice and everything here is responsive. So that's another good thing because when you're making websites, you should always make sure they are responsive. And I'm just going to show it real quick. Yeah, so this is it in different screen sizes. We made sure we got every type of screen size. So no matter what device you use, it will fit well. This is the mobile view. And you can see here we have this icon right here where we get to click on and then we get to wherever page we want to be on. This icon takes us anywhere we want to be on the web page. So it's really nice. It's really cool, really dynamic. And yeah, click here. It switches to the dark mode and yeah, really nice project. Hopefully you enjoy it. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and now let's get to the HTML, CSS, and then the JavaScript of this video.
So what we need to do right here is we put our CSS link. So now we've connected our HTML to our CSS. And the next part now is we have to put an A link or anchor tag. I'll save it right here. You can see it right there. This icon, we put an anchor tag and we put this icon inside it. And this icon class name, you can see right here. We're getting it from here, which is this icon, box icon. So this is a library and we're basically getting the icons from there. So that's how we're doing that. Oops, let me redo that. Now for the header is basically going to be our nav. So when I copy and paste this, you can see this here, and I save it. You can see right here we have our nav BD container, and we have our anchor tag, which is this tasty right here. And after that, we have our nav menu, and inside our nav menu, we're using an unordered list. And this unordered list has 5 LIs, which is home, about, service, menu, and contact, which you see right here. And then we also have this LI right here, which is an icon. And this icon is going to be our sleep, or you're going to see it later. It's basically white screen or white background or black background. And the black background is going to be sleep, and the white background is going to be like a sunshine icon. So yeah, that's what we're having for this. And this div right here that we have, Nav Toggle, is this right here. You can see it's an icon too, which is BXbox. And this is what we're going to use later. We click it and then we can get these icons right here. But that's only going to be for mobile view. So that's why we're putting it there right now. But it's going to be only effective for mobile view. I hope you understand this way I'm doing it because this is a quite large project and I don't want to be typing everything because typing it would just make this video extremely long. And I feel this way I can post it and I can actually explain each line of code more in detail than typing it and then explaining it. So hopefully you enjoyed. And if you enjoy this type of making tutorial videos, let me know down in the comments below. And yeah, I'll make more of this type of tutorial videos. Now this part is the main, and this main right here is going to have our home. And the main is going to be basically some advertisement for the website. Let me put it right here and then I save it. And you can see we have a section right here. And this section holds a div. And inside this div, we have another div that holds this part here, which is tasty food. Try the best food of the week, which is right here. And then we have this anchor tag, which says view menu. And after that, we have our image. And this image is this one right here. This image of this nice fruit salad. I really like. Actually, this is making me want to make a fruit salad. I'm saying fruit salad. Just a normal salad. Yeah, so it's a really nice image, and that's it for this section. And this is our home section. We're going to have an about section. We have a service, menu, app, and then a contact us. So that's going to be the structure of the HTML. Now we can see the about section. In the about section, when I save it and scroll down, you can see right here in the about section, let me increase the page. In the about section, we can see right here, we have some stuff about like the food, and we have our image too. And then we also have explore history, which is an anchor tag. So the next part is going to be the services. Now the services, it's a lot of code, and I will explain each part of it. We can see right here, let me enlarge this. Let me first save it and then we see it. The services, you can see here we have this icons that shows like a pizza and our amazing services. You can see these icons are really nice and they look nice. So this is the services part. And when I enlarge this, you can see that this code right here. Yeah, so this path right here is you don't need to understand what this large amount of code is. This is just the what we're using for our icon. So this is basically this image right here. This is basically this image right here. If I remove it, you'll see that this image goes away. So that's what it is. It's nothing, don't get confused and like, oh, what is this long? It's just to get this nice image right here. So that's what we do. And after that, we have excellent food, which is right here. So now we can see that the website is coming along. So we have the header, we have our navs, and then we have a body, and we have a section that talks about the amazing food, excellent food, fast food, delivery, all that. So you can see here, this is like you can have a meal. You can also have fast food. That's why we have the pizza image here. And then we have delivery for this one here. So that's the whole concept of this website. The next part now is the menu. And now basically showed them what we offer. So now we give them a menu of the kind of food that we offer. And this is right here. When I save it, you can see it right here below this. We have the different types of food, menu of the week, barbecue salad, salad with fish, salad with spinach. So yeah, these are our different menu with their different prices and an icon to show like, oh, do you want to buy that? And let me enlarge this so we can see this code. And we can see right here, it's another section. We have a span tag that says special, and then we have a H2 that basically says menu of the week. And inside, after that H2, we have a div. We have a div that actually holds the image of the food that we have for that menu of the week. You can see right here, we have a section, and in that section, we have special, and this is the special right here. And then after that, of course, we have menu of the week, which is this right here, a H2 tag. And then after that, you can see that we have this container grid. And this container grid, this menu container holds all this. It holds all the menu. But for each menu, we have an individual container to hold each menu's image and also to hold what the name of the food is and oh, delicious dish, and then the price of the food. And then we have an icon that basically is a cart, and the cart signifies you want to buy this food. So that's the whole concept of this whole part of the HTML, the menu part. Now let's get to the other sections. Yeah, so the app, when I save it, we can see it right here. You can see here we have, oh, it's also available for App Store or um, Google Play. And you see here we start with a section as usual, and the section that comes with an has a div inside, which is app container, which holds the whole um, app. It holds everything in this container. And then we have a smaller div that is the app data. And we have a span that says app. And then we say app is available, which is right here. The app from the span is this right there. And the next thing is we have this text right here, and we did it with a p tag. We have this text right here, and we did it with a p tag. And also we have a div that holds the image for this and this, that is Play Store and Google Play. So then after that, we have another image, which is this amazing image that looks really nice with the food already inside it. And that's this right here, this image right here. So that's this for the app. And the next part is the contact us. So for the contact us, it's quite basic. We have a section. It's the same. I hope you understand that they're basically the same format. We have a section and then we have a div that holds everything inside the section. And then we have divs for individual parts of the section. So here we have the span and it says let's talk, which is right here. And after that is the H2 tag that says contact us. And then a P tag that just says if you want a table, contact us and we'll attend to you quickly with our 24/7 chat service. And you can see this button right there below. And for this button, we created a div. So the button is inside a div. And the button just says contact us now. And yeah, that's it for the contact us page. The next part is the footer. The footer, we have a div, which is footer container, background grid. And as we can see here too, we have a div that holds the footer content with a logo. Now we can see this icons right here for Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. These are them right here. And then after that, we have another div that is basically services. That is this H3, and we have a UI. And then we have a UI with its allies. And these allies are delivery, pricing, fast food, reserve a spot. And then we have also another div that contains another footer content. And this footer content is information. We can see information right here. And information is the same context as service was, but just different li content, which is in this case events, contact us, privacy policy, terms and conditions. Yeah, so the footer, you can see the footer content, and then we have the footer title, we have address, and then we have LIs with the addresses. And after that, we have this right here. And this is just a copyright kind of all rights reserved. And this code right here is this C here. And then we have 2020 SAM codes and all that good stuff. So the next part is the scroll reveal. Yeah, so the scroll reveal, we're just going to put this script tag right here. Yeah, and after that, we need to connect our main.js. That's our JavaScript. And that's that right here. So now we're done with the HTML. The next part is the CSS. And then we go to the JavaScript. But now it's time for the CSS. Let's get to it. Now I'm going to push this up. And the first thing we do is we put our Google fonts. And we're using Poppins for this. Nothing's really going to show yet. But yeah, we import our Google fonts, Poppins. It is my favorite font. It looks amazing and all that. So yeah, you can always use whatever font you want, but I'll be using Poppins for this. The next part is we're going to set our roots, and this is just things we're going to use in this project. So we give them variable names like our colors, and then we also set our header height to 3 rem. And if I save it, you see nothing happens because we haven't actually started working on the HTML structure. We're just getting ready and setting everything. So we set all the different colors we're going to use. So now we just call them by these names instead of actually writing all this code right here. So that's the whole purpose of that. The next part is we're going to set the fonts too. Basically, we're going to, we have colors right here. So set fonts. And same thing, you can see fonts, body font is Poppins. And then we also said biggest font size and H1 font size and H2 font size. So now we just need to call all this. Just makes the job more easier and less messy, and it makes it more readable actually. And we do the same for our font weight, font medium, font semi-bold, and then also for our Z index. Now the next part is this. We're going to set our box size in border box and then scroll behavior smooth. This is for HTML, and yes, and yeah, that's about it. We put the star because we mean everything before and after. We save it. You can see. Now let's get to actually adding some CSS to most of the elements in this HTML page. Now we want to also set some body dark theme. And you can see here we have title color. We're setting all of them too. Variable dark theme because as I said earlier, and as I showed you, we have a dark theme and we have a light theme, or we have a sleep and a morning. So that's the icon we're using. We're using this night icon and then we have a morning icon. So now we're setting the body dark theme. The next part is also the button dark and light. And you can see right here, we moved it. Now it's right there because this is going to be our light and dark. It's going to show this when it's dark, and it's going to show us a sun when it's light. And you can see we give a position absolute, center to the right, put it at the top with 1.8 rem, set the color to text color, and also the font size to 1 rem. And we also put a cursor pointer, so when I hover on it, you can see the pointer shows up here. The next part is also dealing with the body and also the images inside the body. And you can see here now our font is actually working out because we have our font family and we've set it to body font. And body font, we used it earlier. We set everything there. I can just show it real quickly. Yeah, you can see Poppins body font. And we also set a margin to header height and a font size, a background color, a colors, and a line height. And line height is just the space between each text. And for our H1, H2, H3P, and our UL, we give it a margin of 0. And then our UL, we give it a padding of 0. And we give it a list style. This is very important when you're using LIs and UL, is that you have to give it a list style none so you don't get all those bullet points and all that make it look like a list. And we also set text decoration for the anchor tag to none because we don't want it to have the highlight that it normally does when you don't set this. Now we give the image a maximum width of 100% and a height of auto. So 100% is basically 100% of the container it's in. So yeah, that's it for this. And now let's go to the other parts. Yeah, so I gave this a class CSS. And you can see the section we just gave it because we have multiple sections in this. So we give all the sections we have in here a padding of 4 rem, 0 and 2 rem. And then the section title and section subtitles, we give them a text align of center. If I enlarge this, you can see they're all in the center right here, all in the center, center too. So that's what we did right there. And then the second title, we give it a font size, give it a color, and then we give it a margin bottom of MB3. And then the section subtitle, we give it a display of block, color, and then a font size too. And you see the point and the usefulness of us setting all those variables is that now we just use them, calling them, instead of having different codes and all that for the colors. And also even for the margin buttons, we've already set them. We give it an MB1, and yeah. Now for the layer, we give it a maximum width of, for the background container, BD container, we give it a maximum width of 960, give it a width of calc 100% minus 2 rem, and then a margin left and a margin right. And let me just enlarge this so you can see how it's looking. You can see everything is looking quite nice. We're not there yet, but you can see it's looking all right. And then this is fixed right now. That's why whenever we scroll, it's still there. And yeah, also give it a width of 100. That's the header position fixed, which I just showed you. And then top 0, left 0, a Z index of Z fixed, and a background color of body color. And next part is we do a lot of stuff with our navs. So yeah, the nav, we give it a maximum width. And what maximum width is that? I don't want to be bigger than this. Whenever it's bigger than this, I want it to be this. Whenever the screen is getting bigger, you set it to this. If it's smaller, it can be smaller. So we have maximum width and minimum width. Here we're using maximum width. We also set the height. Just give it a display flex and then justify content space around and align item center. And now if I enlarge this, you can see that it's totally different from what we had just earlier on. It's because we've actually added all this like the display flex. I've also can see that the navs are not as they were before. Now they're separated. There is space between them. Then we set media screen and max width of. So this is a screen size of this width. And then we set the position to fixed. Top -100, top -100%, left 0 with 100%, padding 1.5 rem, 0.1 rem, and then we set align item center. We give it a background, some transition, 0.4 seconds, a box shadowing to make it look more alive, and then a border radius to just curve the borders around there, and Z index, of course. So then the nav items, give it a margin bottom. And then our nav links, our nav logo, and our nav toggle, we give it a color and then we give them a font weight of font medium. And also we have some hover effects. Yeah, so we have a hover effect of color first color, and then we have a transition for our nav link and a hover effect for our nav link. And also our toggle, we set the font size and we give it a cursor, pointer. So that's what we're doing here. You can see that right there. Now the show menu, we give it a header height, and then active link, we give it a color, and after that we give also our scroll header, and all this is now HTML. So as I'm talking about them, it would be nice if you had your HTML to the side. Set active link to color var first color, and yeah, if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. I will be leaving the GitHub repository for this code so you can get it, and yeah, like and subscribe to the channel, support the channel, and yeah, let's continue. So we give it a change background header, box shadow, and then scroll top, position fixed, and give it a right, bottom, all this for the new screen size. Also align content, a padding, and we can see it right here. It's looking more alive, it's looking more like what we want it to be and how it looked at the beginning when I showed you the completed project. Yeah, but we haven't really gone far with the footer and all that. We're still a little bit on the top of this page. Set the icon, scroll top icon. Set the scroll top icon, font size 1 rem, color, body color, and also we gave it visibility visible, show scroll, and then bottom 1.5 rem. Now for the home section of this HTML, you can see right here, this is the home section. What we did right here is obviously we styled the button, we We styled the fonts, gave it green, made them bigger, give it an align content center, home title, give it a color, of course. Home subtitle, we also give it another color, title color, give it margin buttons so there will be space between each. Justify self-center, and then for the button we give it an display inline block, a background color of first color, which is this green right here, and then a color of white, which is right here, and then also a padding to make it a little bit bigger, 1 rem, 0.7 rem, a border radius for sure, which is needed to make it curved like that, and then a transition of 0.3. And also we had a hover effect, so when you hover on it, you see the color changes slightly. Now we get to the About page. And for the About page, you can see right here the About page. So we just did basically almost the same thing. Text align center, margin bottom, and then give it a width. Um, give it a width, give it a border radius, and also a justify self for center. Yeah, we can see the border radius on the image right here. We see that line self center, and then we see the width we gave it to. Now for services, you can see the difference now. Everything is actually, can enlarge it so we can see what happens here. So for the services, we have the different services, excellent food, fast food, and delivery. Text align, we have set some width, give it a fill, and then a margin bottom. Also set the font size and all that so it actually looks nice, and also the description, give it some padding too. Now the next part is the menu section, which is right here. You see the menu, we gave it some border radiuses, we gave it some width. Now the icon too, we can see how curved it is right there. It had some border radius. And yeah, we just styled it position relative, give it a display flex for sure, and also box shadowing to make it look more realistic and more 3D. And let me enlarge it so we can see the difference here. So we can see how it looks right now with the styling of for the specials, for the different types of meals. Yeah, we set the colors, the font size, the margin bottoms, position absolute for the buttons, and then bottom 0, right 0, display flex, padding, and then we gave it a border radius. And you can see the border radius is 0.5 rem 0, 0.5 rem 0, and that explains why you see it's curved here, and it's also curved here, but it's not curved here and here. So that's how you can do that. Pretty cool. The next part for sure is the app. We just set a text align to make everything in the middle, a margin button to create space between each elements, and yeah, set a width. You can see it's smaller now. All the images are smaller because we set width for them, and also gave it a grid template column so that we can actually know where it should stay. 220 1FR, and then a row gap of 2 rems. And let me enlarge it so you can see how it looks. Yeah, you can see we're getting there. Yeah, so for the footer, you can see the different, we gave it different sections, we separated them, gave it a display inline block, set the font size, the colors, gave it some margin right, and also a display block too to set everything right so you can see it's well aligned. Yeah, when I enlarge it, you can see how it looks right now. See, we're getting close there. It's looking more and more like the finished product, but we're not there yet. And you can see we had the media query minimum width 576 pixel. That's for another type of screen size. And also justify self-center, grid template column 1.75 FR1 FR, width of 380, and order of -1. And yeah, for this screen size, we just, so now let's see how it looks for different screen size. When I go here, yeah, when I go to inspect, you can see the way it looks for different screen size. That's what the media queries were for. You can see it's pretty responsive. Still need to add some stuff to it, but you can see it's pretty responsive. And that was the whole point of the media queries we added to them for different sizes. It's responsive for almost every type of font size you can see. So that's the whole point of the different media query minimum and maximum width sizes. You see we set the nav, the home, we set everything for the different screen sizes. Now this is 960. I we set and then minimum height of 7 for tall screens or mobile and desktops. So we set the height to 640 pixels for the home container. And yeah, that's it for the CSS. If you have any questions, leave them down in the question below as you're going through this project. And if you get stuck somewhere, leave them down in the comments below. So now let's go to the JavaScript. Yeah, so now it's time for the JavaScript. And what we do here is for the JavaScript, we created a show menu. So when you click on here, you can see it shows us the menu right here. And the way we did that is we had a function, constant show menu. It takes into input toggle ID and nav ID, and then you use the arrow function, and then constant toggle equals to document.element.toggle ID, which is one of its input, and the same thing for nav ID. And then after that, we say if toggle and nav, then toggle.event listener. So we're listening for a click, which is this click right here. And then we do an arrow function, and it says nav.class list.toggle show menu. So it basically shows it, and then we call this function that we just created right here. We give it the inputs nav toggle and nav menu. So that's how we did that there. And also you can see when we click on each nav link, it takes us to the parts of the web page. So service, it takes us to service. Menu takes us to the different menus. And then contact us, it takes us to contact us. But the problem now we're having is that, as you can see, it's still showing up right here. It's not removing when we click it, so we can actually see what we're clicking. So that's what we need to create right now, and that's where this comes in. And this is basically remove the menu mobile. And now if I save it and I click service, you can see it goes away. So that's the whole point. And how did we do this right here? Create a constant nav link, and it takes a document.query select all the nav links, because we're not only doing this for one, we're doing it for all of them, which is services, about, contact us, all that, all the nav links in the UL of the LIs. And then we have a function called link action. A link action takes a constant nav menu, and it equals to document.getElement by ID nav menu. And then we say nav menu dot classes dot remove show menu. So that's how it is. And then we add an event listener, which is a click, and then we call the link action. So when it clicks, then this function gets called right here. So that's how we did it. And that's why you see it works that way. So hopefully you understand how everything is working in the JavaScript. Try my best to explain it without going too in depth. That's why in a way you should understand basic JavaScript. And yeah, you can see it's working out perfectly. This is the mobile view. When it's big, you don't have that. You just do it like this. But when it's smaller, we have this toggle right here. And then this is how it works. So the next part is when we're scrolling, we want it to have like activity. So we see this image, when it gets to it, the image moves with some transition and all that. So we'll do that with the JavaScript, of course. Yeah, so now you can see that when we scroll to each part of the page, we get this animation. So we did that here with the JavaScript, and you can see right here we have a scroll selection active link. That's what we called it right here. We have a function, and then we say scroll y equals to window.page offset. And then we use a for each to iterate through it, through the current, and then after that we set a event listener, which is scroll. We're listening for a scroll now, and then we call the scroll active. But that's not done yet. What we need to do is also change the background of the scroll header, and then we create a function for that. And then we also show the scroll top with this function here, and then after that we have to set a scroll reveal animation. That's basically how it should be. And then we set where this animation should focus on, and what should that, like, where do we click and how does it happen for it to go through it. So that's what we did right here. And then we set origin to top, distance 30, duration 200 millisec 2000 milliseconds, and then reset true. Now you can see it right here that whenever we scroll, everything is basically turning on and off. So that's basically, it's basically appearing. So it creates this nice alive feeling for the website. Yeah, so the last part is the dark and light view. So that's the moon and the sunshine. So where we change the background to black, or we change the background to white. Yeah, so for the dark and white theme, we have it right here. We just save it and then we see it, and then I'll explain what happens. So you can see right here, when we click on that, it switches, and yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. Then it switches back. So depending on what you prefer, because this is actually a really good function, because I sometimes prefer it to be darker than having the light, especially when it's during the night. I prefer the darker view. So it's a really nice thing to have on this website. I also would advise you having it on your portfolio website just to show you can do things like this. And yeah, let's get to the code of that. Yeah, so we set some constants, dark theme, icon theme. We use the local storage to store what it is before, so we can know how to change it to something else. And then we use this arrow functions, and we use class list contains dark theme. Then we set dark to light. If it contains the moon, the moon icon, and or the sun icon. If it contains the moon icon or the sun icon, and then we have some if statements that basically tells it to add or to remove one or the other. So that's the whole logic behind that. And then we add an event listener, which is a click to the icon that when we click on it, it should either switch to the dark theme or the light theme. And yeah, that's about it for the HTML and the CSS and the JavaScript. So now we can see this website. It's working nice. It looks nice. You click on wherever you want to be and it takes you there with some nice animation. And yeah, that's it for this project. If you enjoy this project and if you love the way I presented it, leave it down in the comments below. And yeah, give me some suggestions on some new videos you would like. And yeah, that's about it for this tutorial. And I will leave the GitHub for this code right here so you can actually make it yourself, tweak some stuff, add some stuff, or use some of the functionalities to some other projects you have. And yeah, that's it from me. See you in another YouTube video.